The new state budget just signed into law includes extra funding for road repairs and construction. For the first time, state lawmakers transferred nearly $200 million in sales tax money to the DOT. Our Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie explains why that was necessary.
For decades in North Carolina, the gas tax has been the state's #1 way to pay for projects large and small, from filling a pothole to widening I-440. However, transportation officials say it's no longer enough to keep up with the state's growing needs. The state gas tax is 38.5 cents per gallon. It brings in about $1.8 billion a year. That's the state's largest funding source for road repair and construction. However, our cars are getting more fuel efficient. That's great news for climate change, but bad news for tax revenue. The NCDOT estimates the average driver drives 12,000 miles a year in a vehicle that gets 22 miles to the gallon. That driver is paying about $210 a year in gas tax. Now suppose the driver buys a new car or hybrid that gets 40 miles to the gallon. They drive the same 12,000 miles, but they're only paying $116 a year in gas tax. And if the driver buys an electric car, they're not paying any gas tax at all. This year, for the first time ever, lawmakers transferred $193 million of sales tax revenue to the state highway fund. By 2025, that will triple to $600 million a year. That's about what the state takes in sales taxes on vehicles and vehicle-related expenses, like tires and oil changes.
We looked at what that number was and then just said it's transportation money for transportation needs. And so it was just a simple transfer.
Gary Salamito leads the North Carolina Chamber of Commerce, a key backer of the new tax transfer. They've been pushing lawmakers for years to invest more in transportation. He said it's a solid first step to help the state keep up, especially with more and more electric vehicles on the roads.
There's a small fee that they pay, but this helps it be much more fair, that everybody who's using the roads pays for the roads and keeps them safe. So as we go more electric, this helps us in a way that staying with the gas tax alone would not.
Laura Leslie, WRAL News, Raleigh.
And here's an interesting fact that you may not know. North Carolina maintains more miles of road than any other state except Texas.